Hello grade 7s, welcome to my channel Learn with Reza. Today you are going to learn fractions. Here you can see a pizza. This pizza is sliced to 8 equal parts. Therefore, we can say that one slice of pizza is represented as a fraction as 1 upon 8, where 1 is the numerator and 8 is the denominator. So we read it as 1 upon 8. So the top number we call it as the numerator and the bottom number we call it as the denominator. Now have a look on these types of fractions. You can see that they are divided into several parts and a certain portion is shaded. In the first picture, the whole circle is divided into 2 parts, but only one part is shaded. So out of the 2, only one is shaded. So therefore, shaded portion as a fraction, I can tell you half. How do we read it? 1 upon 2, or commonly we say it as half, since it is only one portion shaded. Now look at the second figure. It is cut for 4 equal parts, but only 2 equal parts are shaded. So I can say that out of the 4 total, 2 are shaded. So we can read it as a fraction 2 upon 4. Look at the third diagram. The diagram is cut into 6 equal parts and 3 equal parts are shaded. So shaded portion as a fraction is 3 by 6 or 3 upon 6. Here 3 is the numerator and 6 is the denominator. Now look at the last diagram. 8 equal parts. The circle is cut into 8 equal parts and 4 equal parts are shaded. So shaded portion as a fraction is 4 upon 8. That means 4 numerator and 8 denominator. A similar example is taken now. Here you can see 2 children are sitting and having a delicious pizza. The first child with the blue t-shirt is having a pizza which is divided into equal parts and he has finished half of the pizza. That's why you can see exactly the other half is remaining. And the other boy has finished 1/4. So that means out of 4 equal parts of pizzas, 3 parts are over and 1/4 is remaining. 1/4 of the pizza is remaining. Here there are such similar figures, right? Okay, now you can see they are shaded portions. We can take them as shaded portions. So here first picture you can see out of 10 parts, 1 part is orange. So we are representing it as 1/10. Second picture, 2 parts are shaded. So 2/10. Likewise, if you consider the sixth picture, out of 10 portions, 6 parts are shaded in orange, right? So then you can consider it as 6 by 10. The last one, when everything is shaded, you call it as the whole number 1. Right, because you get 10/10, which is whole number 1. So this is how you have to represent the shaded portion or as an unshaded portion of a given figure. Well, now let's talk about the types of fractions. You have to discuss about these types of fractions: unit fractions, proper fractions, improper fractions, mixed fractions and equivalent fractions. So let's discuss what are these types of fractions and how are we identifying them. So in this video you are going to learn about this. So don't forget to subscribe my channel and share it among your friends. So hope this video will give you a clear idea about the basics of the lesson fractions. So now let's go into the lesson. First let's see what is unit fractions. Now you can see in these pictures, in all these figures, only one portion is shaded out of the total. So when the numerator is 1, you call them unit fractions. So fractions whose numerator is 1 are unit fractions. Here you can see the next one as proper fractions. In proper fractions, you can notice that numerator value is smaller than the denominator's value. Look at the first picture. You can see it is divided into equal parts, but only one portion is shaded and you call it as half. Have a look on the second figure. 4 equal parts are there. Only one part is shaded and you call it as 1/4 or 1/4. And the third picture, from 4 equal parts, 3 equal parts are shaded and you call it as 3/4 or 3/4. So in all these fractions, it is noticeable numerator value is smaller than the denominator. These type of fractions are called as proper fractions. The third type of fractions are improper fractions. Improper means it's not proper. Here numerators are greater than your denominator. So you can see all these figures, in all these figures, numerator values are greater than your denominator's value. So this type of fractions are called as improper fractions. The next is mixed fraction. Mixed fraction means fractions with a whole number and a proper fraction. Here look at this now. This number 1 is the whole number, half is the proper fraction. So we read it as 1/2, 1/2, or 1/2. Well, now under the types of fractions, the remaining fraction is the equivalent fraction, or some call them as equivalent fractions. So what is this equivalent fraction? So being grade 7 students, you must know this, because in grade 6 you have learned this type of fraction. So fractions which have the denominators different to one another, different to the numerator, different to one another, or different to each other, right? But representing the same fractions, we call it as equivalent fractions. But I know that you might not have understood what I said because of the definition. But if I consider an example, a fraction like half. So if I ask you, give me an equivalent fraction for half. That means a fraction that is similar to half, right? To make equivalent fraction, there are two methods. One is multiplying, two is dividing. The second method is dividing. But multiplying what? Dividing what? That is a question for you. So, multiplying and dividing the numerator and the denominator by a same number. Multiplying the numerator and the denominator by a same number, we call it as the two methods for the equivalent fractions. So, under these two methods, we can make any equivalent fractions. Now, I am going to make an equivalent fraction for half. First, we'll do using the multiplying method. I can make an equivalent fraction for half by multiplying my numerator and the denominator by any number I like. So, let me take a small number like 3, where I get 1 times 3, 3, and 2 times 3, 6. Therefore, I can say half is an equivalent fraction for 3/6. Or else 3/6 is an equivalent fraction for half. Right? But for this half, we can't do by division method, because we can't divide 2 and 1 by the same number to get a whole number. So, how can we apply the division method? Look at this now. If I take an example, this number 3/6, I need to make an equivalent fraction using the division method. So what can I do? I can take 3/6 and I can divide both the numerator and the denominator by any number. Any number means both should be divisible. So I can take 3 and 6, both are divisible by 3 times table. That means 3 and 6 are multiples of 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now you see that you get the same fraction, 3/6 is equal to half. That's what I told you. We can make equivalent fractions in two methods, either by multiplication or division. But you have to do for both, effect should be for numerator and the denominator. Let me take another example. A huge number, little bit of 18/24. Now, when you get a number like this, before you go to multiplication, try the division, because this is a 2-digit number. Suppose if you can do this using division, it would be easy. If you do with multiplication, you will have to do a long working. So I'm checking now 18 and 24. By which number are they divisible? So when you are in grade 4 and 5, you learn that by observing the unit digit, how to check whether a number is divisible by 2. When the unit digit is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, that particular number will be divisible by 2. So I can divide this by 2. Or else I can divide this by 3 times table. I even can divide this by 6 times table because both the numerator and the denominator are multiples of 2, 3 and 6. So let me show you this one from 2 times table, 18 and 24. I'm going to divide both numerator and denominator by 2. You have to divide by the same number. You can't change this. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So I can tell you 18 over 24 is equivalent to 9 over 12. Not only that, if they ask you to make another pair, then what can I do? Another method. 18 divided by 3 and 24 divided by 3. Then I can get here 6 and 24 divided by 3, 8. So I can say 18 over 24, another equivalent pair is 6 over 8. If they ask you to make another pair of equivalent fraction, I can divide 18 and 24. I can divide both 18 and 24 by 6 times table, where I get 3 and 24 divided by 6 is 4. So I can say 18 over 24 equivalent to 3 over 4. Now I found 3 pairs of equivalent fractions for 18 upon 24. One pair is 9 over 12, 6 over 8 and 3 over 4. So using the division method only I did it. But make sure that you are dividing both the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Then only you can make equivalent fractions. So whenever you get a fraction to be converted to the same denominator, you can multiply both the numerator and denominator by a same number, or divide both the numerator and the denominator by a same number. Right, the next part of your lesson is how to convert a given mixed fraction, or some they say that as mixed number. So how to convert mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So in your book they have given mixed number to improper fraction. Whatever it is, we are going to convert a fraction which is having a whole number to a fraction whose numerator is greater than the denominator. In the previous slides I taught you, improper fraction means numerator is greater than the denominator. Mixed number means a fraction, a proper fraction which consists with a whole number. So let me explain this with an example. Mixed number means, for example, I can take 1, 2 over 3. This is a mixed fraction. How do you read it? 1, 2 over 3. So 1, 2 over 3 means first you read the whole number, then you read the proper fraction. And if you want to convert this into improper fraction, easily you can do this. But how can you do? Look at this. Denominator 3, whole number 1 and numerator 2. Now we are going to convert this into improper. When you are converting into improper, multiply denominator by the whole number. You used to multiply. Then that value, what you get, add it to the numerator. Now what do we do? How do we do this? Multiply 3 times 1 denominator with the whole number. You get 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Keep it in your mind. That 3 you have to add with the numerator. 3 plus 2 you get 5. Write it in the answer as a numerator, but definitely keep it in your mind. Don't change your denominator. So now this should be in your mind, not here. So answer will be 5 over 3. You can notice that 5 over 3 is an improper fraction. Numerator is greater than the denominator. So this is the way of converting a given mixed fraction to an improper fraction. So let me take another example. 1 over 4. This is also a mixed fraction. I can convert this mixed fraction into an improper fraction in the same method. 4 multiplied by 1. Now you tell with me. 4 multiplied by 1 is 4. That 4 add with 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. You write 5 here, but denominator will not change. So answer will be 5 over 4. See how easy? You have to convert it very nicely, and you have to keep only two things: multiplying, adding. Multiplying denominator with the whole number, adding that value with the numerator. So, well, now let's see the next part. How to convert a given improper fraction to a mixed fraction, that is the vice versa, the other process of what we did previously. If you are given an improper fraction, for example 5 over 3. Why do I say 5 over 3 is improper? Because numerator is greater than the denominator. When the numerator is larger than the denominator, you call it as improper fraction. So when you are converting this improper fraction to a mixed fraction, what you have to do, this is division. This is something like 5 divided by 3. So I can divide 5 and show you now. In 5, how many 3's are there? In 5, how many 3's? You can see one pair of 3 is there. So I can write it here, 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Only this. Don't try to divide further. You have to write only this. So when you divide like this, you call this top number, the quotient, you call it as the whole number. You call it as the whole number. Right? This bottom number, you can take it as your numerator, because we are converting this into mixed fraction. And this number will not change. That is your denominator as usual. Denominator don't change. Now we'll arrange this. 1 is the whole number. 2 is the numerator. 3 will be your denominator. So this is the mixed fraction for this improper fraction. If you are converting an improper fraction to a mixed fraction, do the division, and that will be the numerator will be your remainder, whole number will be your quotient, and the number that you are dividing by will be your denominator. So in mixed fraction conversion for mixed fraction, remember that denominator will not change, only the numerator and the whole number will be changing. So let me explain this you in another method. So the second method to convert improper fraction into a mixed fraction is very easy than your first method. Here, if you are a good person in multiplication, if you can remember the multiplication table, you can follow this method. When you are given an improper fraction to be converted to mixed fraction, write down the denominator as it is without any change. Then follow this one's multiplication table. 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9. Just think of this. Now, which number is giving value closer to 5? Closer to 5, not 5 or more than 5, closer to 5. That is the first value, 3 times 1. This is giving the value closer to 5. So, we can write down whole number, this one, 3 times 1. So, if you multiply denominator by whole number, you get 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Denominator by whole number, 3 times 1 is 3. To that 3, if you add how much will you get? 5. If you multiply here, you get 3. To that, if you add how much will you get? 5. 3 plus what is equal to 5? Yes, correct. 2. So, you can check your answer whether it is correct. How can you check it? It's like this. 1, 2 over 3. You know how to convert mixed fraction into improper, right? 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2. 5. 3 plus 2, 5. So you have got the same answer. That means the way you have converted your improper fraction to a mixed fraction is exactly correct. Now let's look into another example, a little bit of bigger number. 26 over 3. In this second method I am teaching you because it is easy. So write down the denominator as it is. Then check whether what is the value that is closer to 26 in 3 times table? 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15, 3 6 are 18, 3 7 are 21, 3 8s are 24, 3 9s are 27. So 3 9s are 27, exceeding 26. 3 8s are 24, which is closer to 26. So I can write down 3 8s are 24. To make 26, 24 plus 2. So I can write down my numerator as plus 2. If you convert 8 2 over 3 mixed fraction into improper fraction, you can check your answer. 3 times 8, 24. 24 plus 2, 26 over 3. That same answer you are getting. So this is the way of converting any improper fraction to mixed fraction to improper fraction. This is very important that you have to understand it very clearly. So we'll go to the next part of your lesson now. Comparison of fractions. Under comparison of fractions, you will have to learn several topics. Your first topic will be how to compare two fractions with the same numerator. For example, if you are given two fractions with numerator 4, let's say, these are two different fractions. Why I say different? Denominators are different. So when you are given two fractions with two different denominators, but remember your numerators are same. There you have to remember the fraction with the smaller denominator. What is it? Fraction with the smaller denominator will be your larger fraction. Most of the students are getting confused with this symbol. Larger means it's open towards the bigger one. Think of a crocodile's mouth, huge mouth getting open to the bigger side, to the bigger prey. So bigger one is this one. This is open towards the larger one. So this symbol is used. Why did I use this symbol? When you have two fractions, two or more fractions with same numerators, the larger fraction will be fraction with the smaller denominator. Fraction with the smaller denominator. If I consider three pairs of fractions, 5 over 9, 5 over 8, 5 over 7. You can see smaller denominator is this one. No, sorry, this one is the smallest one. So this is bigger than this one, and when comparing these two, this is bigger than this one. Larger. So this is the way of writing the symbols, or we can say in other words, comparing two fractions with the same numerators. Suppose if you are given two or more fractions with the same denominator. Denominator means the number below. Right? Now you can see denominators are same. How do you compare? When you are given two fractions with the same denominator, observe your numerator. If your numerator is greater, now in these two fractions, larger numerator is 3. So the symbol that you have to use, which is the symbol? The greater than symbol, bigger one is this one. So crocodile's mouth, we say it's open towards the larger prey, that is to this side. So with fraction with the larger numerator, when denominators are same, will be the larger fraction. I repeat it again. When you have two fractions with same denominator, larger fraction will be fraction with the larger numerator. So when you are given three sets of fractions with same denominators, 9 over 11, 15 over 11. Denominators are same. Larger numerator is this. So this is larger. From these two, larger numerator is this. So this is the way of comparing fractions with the same denominator. But if you are given fractions with different numerators and different denominators, how do you compare? So for example, if I take two fractions, 5 over 3 and 7 over 6, which is the larger fraction? Yes, for this purpose, what you have to do is you have to make their denominators same. So when you are given two fractions, check whether the smaller denominator can make the larger denominator. So ask number 3 whether it can make 6. Yes. By multiplying by 2, you can make it 6. But remember, when you do any effect for denominator, same effect should be done for the numerator. So you are getting the new fraction as 10 over 6. So that means, in other words, I can tell you 5 over 3 is equivalent fraction for 10 over 6. So instead of 5 over 3, I can compare fractions 10 over 6 and 7 over 6. This is only easy because you know when the denominators are same in two fractions, when the denominators are same, larger fraction will be fraction with the larger numerator. So from 10 over 6 and 7 over 6, larger fraction is this. Or I can say 5 over 3 is larger than 7 over 6 because 5 over 3 is equivalent to 10 over 6. So now let's consider another example, 3 over 4 and 2 over 3, which is the larger fraction. So you may say 3 over 4, but we'll check. We have to make the same denominators. So as I told you before, ask the smaller denominator, can it make the larger number from its multiplication table? No, you don't have 4 in 3 times table. Then what you have to do, you should get their LCM. So in other words, I can tell you can do this way. 3 over 4 fraction and 2 over 3 fraction, make them with the same denominator. The least common multiple for both the 3 times table and 4 times table will be 12. So how to make 12 from 3 and 4? 4 multiplied by 3, 3 multiplied by 4. When you do any effect for the denominator, same effect should be done to the numerator. That's why I multiplied denominators and numerators by the same numbers. So the new fractions I get will be 9 over 12 and 8 over 12. Now we are going to compare 9 over 12 and 8 over 12. Denominators are same, larger fraction is with larger numerator. So in other words, I can tell 3 by 4, which is equivalent to 9 over 12 is larger than 2 by 3, which is equivalent to 8 by 12. So when you are given in your exam two fractions whose numerators cannot be made by multiplying the smaller denominator, you can make the equivalent fraction by considering their LCM, least common multiple, and try to make their LCM using multiplying, and then those two answers compare in fractional form, and that particular fraction's equivalent one will be the greater one or the lesser one. You can compare it and know it. So we'll do one more example for you to have a clear understanding. Next example, 15 over 8 and 7 over 3. So like as I told you in the first example, ask the smaller number. Can you make the larger denominator 8 from your multiplication table? So 3 will say no, because 3 has no 8s in its multiplication table. Then what I told you, LCM method, least common multiple. So the least common multiple for both of these is 8 times 3, 24. So I can write down 15 over 8, 7 over 3, I have to make 24. How can I make 24 from both these denominators? If I need 24 here, by what number should I multiply? If I need 24, yes, by 3. If I need 24 here, I should multiply by 8. So let's take our new fractions. 15 multiplied by 3. So what do you get there? Yes, 45. 8 multiplied by 3, we made it 24. 7, if you multiply by 8, you have to get 56. 3 multiplied by 8, 24. Now we are going to compare these two because these are the equivalent fraction. This is equivalent to this. This is equivalent to this. So if we compare these fractions 45, 24 and 56, 24, Both are having same denominators. So you know that when the denominators are same, larger fraction is with larger numerator. Or I can say 15 over 8, 7 over 3. This is larger. So I think you have understood how to compare fractions with different numerators and different denominators. So we can move into the fourth topic of comparison. Mixed fractions with unequal whole numbers and mixed fractions with equal whole numbers. So that means what? You know what are mixed fractions, right? With a whole number? I told you. If I consider two fractions, 1 over 2 and 3 2 over 5. Here see, whole numbers are different. Here 1, here 3. Whole numbers are different. So how to compare two mixed fractions with unequal whole numbers? First of all, examine the whole numbers. If the whole number parts are unequal, the mixed number with the greater whole number, mixed number with the greater whole number will be the larger fraction, like this. By observing itself, you can decide it, because you understand larger number is 3, of course. So when you are having unequal whole numbers, you can compare the whole numbers. Here see, next example, 7.5, 3 4 over 5. Both the whole numbers, observe well, larger is 7. So this is bigger, right? Let me take another example. 7, 3 over 8, 11, 1 over 5. Larger whole number is this. So that is a larger fraction as well. So that's very easy. Unequal whole number comparison is very easy. So let's see how to do this. Equal whole numbers. So when you are comparing equal whole numbers, there are some things that you should follow. For example, 3 2 over 5 and 3 1 over 2. Observe very well, whole numbers are same. So forget the whole numbers for a while and consider the proper fractions given. 2 over 5 and 1 over 2. Make their denominators same. Think that these two are two proper fractions with different numerators, different denominators, as I taught you before. You can see denominators are different. So just ask the smaller number, smaller denominator, can you make this larger denominator from the multiplication? So since it is not possible to make the denominator 5 from 2, we will have to get the LCM. So LCM of 5 and 2 denominators are 10. So I have to make 10 from denominator 2 and 5. So for that I have to multiply 5 times 2 and numerator also same number. 2 times 5, its numerator by its same number. I am getting the new fraction. My equivalent fraction for this is 4 over 10 and here 5 over 10. My two new fractions. Now I am going to compare 4 over 10 and 5 over 10. Now look at this. Denominators are same. Fraction with the larger numerator is the larger fraction. So listen carefully. If you are given to find out two mixed fractions with equal whole numbers, what you have to do? Take the fractions, proper fractions out. Make their denominators same. Check whether the smaller one can make the larger one. If cannot make, what you have to do? Get the LCM, make the denominators same, get the equivalent fractions, compare their numerators. Larger numerator will be the larger fraction. So this is all about your fractions lesson part 1, and these are the basics that you have to know about fractions. If you know all these things, you can move to fractions 2 smoothly. So to have a clear idea, to have a clear view of this lesson, definitely you have to do all the exercises related to this lesson. So we'll meet up with fractions 2 video also very soon. So please subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching. Hope you understand. Good luck.